Welcome back to my channel. This is episode 3 of my spiritual journey. So if you've been following along, I have kind of went through my course in my life of how I've got to the current state that I am now. This current state that I'm in is what I would like to say is a higher level of consciousness of like my actions, how I am manifesting my own reality, and this is kind of all of the steps, I guess, that I've taken to get to this point. In the last few weeks, I've went over things that I've gotten rid of out of my life and things that I have changed. One of which is, meditation, which has really been the basic point. It's been my foundation, if you will, to every single avenue I've went down in this journey. And so the prior week we went over alcohol and how alcohol has a lower vibration, and it can actually inhibit your ability to get to that higher level of consciousness that you may be seeking. So, eliminating that from your everyday norm, or, changing your diet and bringing in more healthy, nutritious food that can actually provide benefits to your body as well as your mind and your soul. So this week, I really spent a lot of time in understanding something that's a little bit more newer age, which is called breath work. Breath work is not something that has a lot of publicity on it, if you will, right? So there's not a lot of research on it, but really the foundation of breath work is controlling your breath in a manner to really get the benefits of it. There's a lot of testimonies backing this up, in which you can utilize your breath to breathe energy into the areas that need help. So like breathing into your heart, or breathing into your mind, or breathing into certain areas of your body. I did a small experiment on my own this past week where I was deep in breath, thought, and work, and I had a pain in my leg as we had just went on a pretty lengthy walk. And so I had a weird pain in my leg, and I just focused. I pulled all of my breath in and I focused it on that point. And, for whatever reason, it stopped hurting. And I think that's just my own personal testimony that breath work is a benefit. It can definitely benefit your mind, your soul, and your body. I think that there are health benefits to controlling your breath and controlling the energy flow to where you need it. I have always been a firm believer. Anybody in my life knows this about me. I don't use any kind of pharmaceutical drugs. I don't believe in them. I believe that, and again, I've been saying this for years and years and years, that my body has the ability to fix itself. It's programmed in a way to fix itself. That's why we have billions of cells that work inside our body to make it function the way that it's supposed to function. If I get a scratch on my hand, my skin cells know to replicate and fix that area so that it closes it off so no infections will come in. Equal to that, your blood cells come together and they clot to stop you from bleeding, so that way you're not wasting blood. And again, to keep out infections and keep out bacteria and viruses. So, I have always been a firm believer of trying my best to not use any kind of pharmaceutical drugs, whether that is ibuprofen, Advil, cold medicine. I really try to stay away from those things. And again, anybody in my life will tell you the same thing, that I'm pretty stubborn when it comes to those kind of things. So with that being said, I think by me learning what breath work is, I kind of got a little bit more of an understanding of how to control and pinpoint my energy to where I need it to go, which I think is really the whole purpose and meaning behind breath work. And so this last week, I've been using it as a means to help me become more into a meditative state. And so I've done this before I've went to sleep. I practiced this on Monday and Tuesday night. I did breath work, and it was essentially hyperventilating, right? Which is what some of the breathwork practices are. And so I was breathing in and breathing out fairly quickly for about a minute, and then I would completely expel all of the breath and hold that for a minute, and then I'd breathe in a deep breath and hold that for a minute, and I did that in 3 repetitions. The feeling that I got from doing this was a very interesting sensation. It was a full body vibration, which I also attribute to when I am at the point of almost getting out of my body into an astral projection. Your body goes into a full vibration, and so you can feel the energy coursing through you. It's one of the most amazing feelings. If you stop a meditation at that point, you will have so much energy, I'll tell you that. It is amazing. I can't explain how to get that energy anywhere else. You know, coffee can give you a nice little buzz, but nothing is like that vibration of energy that you have from meditating. But anyways, so doing that breath work, those 3 repetitions, I got that full body vibration, and it was like a whole hum, like my body was humming, and it was beautiful feeling. And the first night on Monday, I was a little bit apprehensive to know what was going to happen from this, and so I kind of held back a little bit, you know. And I think that that's something we naturally do, is we hold ourselves back to not quite get the full experience because we don't know. And I think the beauty of doing what I'm doing and exploring what I'm exploring is pushing me outside that comfort zone. It is pushing me to get to that next level. And in order to do that, I have to be vulnerable, and I have to break out of my comfort zone and do things that I'm not normally doing. And so by, I would say, Thursday, experiencing this, I've slept through the night, and that's not something that I normally do. Usually I wake up throughout the night 3 or 4 times. And by doing this meditation beforehand, I'm actually able to sleep throughout the entire night. I think it also has to do with after the fact of doing this breath work, I go into a meditative state and set my intention to fully sleep through the night, you know. And that's the intention I want. That's the intention I have. And I set that and I do it, you know. And I think that that is just testimony again to the fact that this stuff works and I can't explain it. And I think it's truly been, at this point, a wonderful journey. Which brings me to my next point in this video. By doing this journey and going on this journey, I have come to a point what's called shadow work. Shadow work is essentially pulling out your shadow parts and acknowledging them, because these are things that we have suppressed subconsciously. And it could be traumatic experiences that you've had as a child. It could be, forms of sexual abuse. There's so many things that we may think that we've worked through, but we truly haven't. We've just simply suppressed them to not deal with the pain and hurt. So that is one level of shadow work. Another level of shadow work is essentially calling out your bad parts, right? Let me rephrase that. It's more of a darker part of you. I'm not really of a belief of good and bad. I try to stay as neutral as I can and stay in a neutral state, because in order for the world to function, we have to have this bad and good, this light and dark. And it's not something I want to frame like a bad and good, right? It's a negative form of energy and a positive form of energy, and we need both in this world to function and move forward. So, forgive me for interchanging those. I'm actively trying to not do that. I'm trying to reprogram my brain to not think of a negative energy as a bad, and a positive energy as good. I'm trying to get more into a neutral state of mind, and that is difficult. It takes rewiring of countless years. For me, 30 years on this planet have been programmed, and we have to learn to unprogram those aspects. And I think that that's something that's not simple to do. And so with that, I've actually sought help in pulling out some of my shadow work, and I have reached out to somebody to essentially do kind of like regression hypnosis. And so I think this will allow me to break over some hurdles that I have encountered and get me to the next level of my ascension, if you will. And I'm really excited. I'm going to be starting this next Saturday. So I might not post a video this coming week, because I will be in about a 3-hour session next Saturday, and I want to really use that weekend to reflect on my experience. But I'm really excited to, for the following week, post a video about that experience and share with you all what I went through in this hypnosis of trying to pull out, you know, these suppressed feelings and emotions and, you know, my angry self and just these levels of things that I have suppressed that are negative to me that I need to acknowledge, deal with, and be able to move past. So I'm really excited about that and excited to share that. I think what is going to result is something that has already resulted in my life, which is really getting rid of a lot of toxic things that I have created in my own mind. But it also may result in me eliminating toxic people, which is a level of grounding. You know, I'm grounding myself and solidifying who I am, which some people don't really like. And that's fine, because that's your journey that you're on, and this is the journey I'm on. And I am truly excited to be on this journey, you know? So that will bring me to my final point for this video, and then I'll share our little randonaut experience this week we did within the inner city, which was interesting. It turned into more of just observing the atmosphere because of the protests in downtown Portland. Being able to see all of that was quite interesting and eye-opening, and it was a little emotional. So sharing that is going to be more so just sharing what we experienced today on our walk. But there's been some signs these last few weeks that I've seen from the universe that I would like to call out. And one of which I was watching TV and a commercial came on, and it was a Mini Cooper commercial called Mini Meditation. And it was shifting the gears, and on a shift up, it was breathing in, and shift down, it was breathing out. Which I found that interesting because I've been a lot more focused on my meditation. So seeing that was quite interesting. So yeah, that brings me to, you know, the end of this portion of the video. So I hope you enjoy our randonauting experience through downtown. You know, these are trying times, and I think we all need to come together and be there for one another and love one another. I think love conquers everything. Love conquers everything, and I think that that's important. So continue to love one another and be there for one another and do what you think is right. Trust your instinct, trust your gut, you know. Don't always just do what others are doing because that's what others are doing. Trust your instinct because it is right for the most part. So I hope you enjoy the next part of this video, and thanks for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe. And I really value everyone that continues to support and watch this journey of mine. All right, here we go. Week 3 into our Randonaut experience. We decided to stay a little closer to home. So there you see Patrick in the back. He's ready to go. We got the backpack, getting the dogs ready to go. I think we're gonna go maybe 3 miles, nothing too crazy, and staying within the inner city area. So I'm curious to see where it takes us, but really excited for you to join our adventure. So is Eggsy.